Welcome, Valkyrie fans. Well, this one was a real bummer. We just came, we just had two really brutal games, like knockdown, drag out, brutal games with Vegas and Phoenix. And darn it, should have won that one. But we had to go after that, fly up to Seattle and play Seattle in their gym. And it's a hard place to win. Seattle plays well there, and I was hoping because we had already beaten them twice that we could do it again. But we had this was as bad as Minnesota in the Commissioner's Cup, shooting wise. We couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. It was just, you could see they were just, I don't know if they were necessarily physically tired, but I think they were just, gut punched by the last two games. And I was hoping they could just eke it out, and they almost did. It was a 2-point game right near the end, and then when we needed a hoop, we couldn't get it once again. But, credit to Seattle. Neither team really shot very well, and it was frustrating to watch. Just, and even, Natalie subbed people in. Martin was in there, Chen was in there, Amihir was in there, and nobody could hit anything. There were air balls, there were, not a lot of them, but there were just, nobody could hit a shot. All we had to do was hit like two of them and we would have won. Just couldn't hit. And, the hustle was there for sure. And, but for Seattle, Nneka said, nope, sorry, we're winning this one. That's what it looked like. Because Seattle didn't play necessarily good in this one either. It was a tough, hard-fought game. And the Valkyries end up losing 67-58. Look at that. 58 points. We just couldn't hit anything. Let's see. What do we shot? We shot 31%. We shot 22% from three. Just 11 turnovers, so that's not bad. We had 14. That's weird. It lists 11 on one part of the stats and then 14 on the other. Oh, they include team turnovers where I guess they can't assign it to anybody. So 14 turnovers isn't great. Points in the paint were even, but second chance points we got 0. 0. Seattle got 11. There's the game right there. We held them to 67 points, but we only scored 58. That's just terrible. We had two people in double figures, and those double figures were 12 points and 10 points. Zandlicini had 12, and Salon had 10. And they both shot 25% from three. Zandlicini was 2 for 8, and Salon was 1 for 4. Kayla Thornton only had 4 points. She was 1 for 9 from the field. God, we need more from her. Peg Bentley had 5 points. They tried to go in to her on the cut, but the ball was getting slapped out of her hands the couple times that they tried. And then they just stopped trying. Not that they do that a lot anyway, but our Tiffany Hayes had 2 points. 3 points. She hit 1 3-point shot. She only took 3 shots. Why was that happening? Burton had 8 points. She was 3 for 9. Carla Late had 5. She only took 5 shots. Martin had 3. She hit 1 of the 6 threes she tried. Monique Billings only had 2 points. She only took 1 shot. She was only in the game for 5 minutes. Chen played 12 minutes. I think Natalie was just looking for, nothing was happening from the starters, so she just started putting everybody else in. Martin had 15 minutes, Caitlin Chen 12, and Amihir had 9. And, they couldn't do anything either. It was just I don't know. It was just a total team collapse. And Seattle only played 8 players, and we just, ugh. Nneka. I mean, Nneka was 22 points. So good game, Nneka. I mean, I like Nneka. I mean, I like Seattle, but I don't want them to beat us. But between Nneka and Erica Wheeler had 15 points. She hit a couple of key threes that gave them just that little edge. Because this was, I mean, Seattle was in the lead for most of it. Let me see what biggest lead. That was right at the end of the game. We had a 5-point lead at one point, but that was early in the game. And then all we had to do was string together like 2 or 3 hoops and would have given us the momentum, and we just couldn't get it. But Mitchell had 6 points. Lexi Brown had 7. Let's see. Skylar Diggins, 10 points. Ezzy and Nneka had 8 rebounds. Skylar Diggins had 6 assists. But they shot 32% from the floor, and so they shot 1% better than us and 24% from 3. And like I was saying, this game was just, I think both of these teams are probably really happy that I know the Valkyries are, that the All-Star break is here. Because I think they need to regroup. And, I mean, they played really well the last 2 games. They played really well and just didn't come away with a win. And I think they were just emotionally and physically exhausted in this one. And just didn't have enough to pull out a crappy win. So, it is what it is. It's just, I remember it was like, oh, well, we're an expansion team. They're doing really well Why don't look at it that way? This is our team. This is a Bay Area. This is the Valkyries. This is our team. We want them to win. We don't care. I don't care. I mean, I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't care that they're an expansion team. They're our team. And this has been brutal. Because, like I was saying in the last video, we're close. But then you see a game like this and you go, oh, jeez. It's frustrating. And you can see that they're exhausted. I think more mentally than physically. But I don't know. So now we're 10-12. I think we've dropped to, I don't think the Aces are going to beat. I think they're playing, who are they playing? They're playing later today. Let me look at this. Oh, the Aces are going to get a win unless they're playing Dallas. I can't imagine Dallas beating them. So they're ahead of us now. So now we've dropped to like 9th. By the end of the day, we're going to drop to 9th. But New York is already beating Indiana. Indiana had to play a back-to-back because they played yesterday. So, and Phoenix lost to Minnesota. I'm amazed at Minnesota's strength. They have had a brutal schedule. Minnesota's, like the other day, they had played 9 games in 16 days. And they have played 2 more games since then. And it's been less than a week. Minnesota's amazing. Just how resilient they are. But that's a veteran team. And you have a team that's been together for, with a couple of tweaks here and there, but for quite a while now. And that shows the difference. So I'm just bummed. I wanted, we were at one point knocking on the door of like 5th place. Just like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. And now we're 9th. But, the nice thing is that the next half of the schedule, we played New York 3 times. We played Minnesota, I think, 3 times. We've played Phoenix 3 times. Oh, one of those might have been the preseason game. But we've played the 3 top teams 3 times already. And so now we're going to have the teams that are either even with us or lower for the majority of the rest of the season. And I'm hoping that with a little bit of a break and just a little bit more fine-tuning that we can start, piling on some wins. and start getting back into this. Because, like I was saying, I don't look at this as an expansion team. I want us in the playoffs, and I want us to. I mean, we're not going to contend for a title. We're not good enough. I mean, you look at Minnesota and you look at New York, and they're still without Jonquil Jones. We're not good enough to do that yet. But I see us in the playoffs, and the higher we get in the playoffs, the less likely we have to play Minnesota or New York. If we can play, Seattle or Atlanta or, Indiana, I'm sure Vegas is going to be in there. But one of those teams, if we're in that middle, if we're like 5 or 6 in the playoff hunt, then we're not going to play one of the top teams. So as long as we can be like no lower than 6th, we might be able to win a series in the first round. That's my goal for this team. Not, we're an expansion team. Yay, we're doing so well. Well, not right now, we're not. I mean, we are, but record-wise, we're not. We should have a winning record right now, I think. But we got to do better. We got to figure out the second half and shoot better and, just continue on the defense. And, if we can, look, so there's 22 games left. If we can win 12 of those, if we go 12-10, I think we're in it. No, we got to win a little more than 12, I think. If we can win 15, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at the next 22 games and see where I think we can get, if we can get 15 wins. But, okay, well, I got a couple more games to cover. We got Indiana and New York, and then Vegas and Dallas for the rest of the day here. A full 5 games of WNBA. So it's always good watching the games. I'm rooting for our Valkyries. So, okay, everybody have a great rest of the day and enjoy the All-Star break.